You said this would be the last time, again. Now the room is quiet, your phone is face down beside you, the dopamine already faded, and all that's left now is the uncomfortable feeling of being alone with yourself again. 5 minutes ago, your mind wanted relief. Now it just wants peace. That's the part nobody warns you about. Not the temptation, the silence afterward, the staring at the ceiling, the avoiding your own reflection in the bathroom mirror, the exhausted feeling of breaking promises you genuinely meant when you made them. You told yourself this morning would be different, you believed it too, but now it's late again. And somehow you ended up back in the same cycle. The scary part is not even the relapse anymore, it's how normal the cycle has started feeling. That should terrify you, because habits repeated long enough stop feeling like decisions, they start feeling like identity. And relapse slowly teaches people something dangerous. How can I trust myself if I keep betraying myself? That's why this battle destroys confidence, not only because of what you did, but because every broken promise weakens your belief in your own word. Listen carefully now. The relapse did not begin tonight. It started earlier, when you ignored your exhaustion, when you stayed isolated too long, when you spent hours overstimulating your mind, when you kept escaping into distractions instead of dealing with what you actually felt. Most relapses are emotional before they become physical. Loneliness, stress, boredom, self-hatred, emptiness. The urge usually arrives after the mind is already weak. That's why nights become dangerous. Silence forces people to meet the version of themselves they spent all day avoiding. So your brain reaches for relief. One more scroll, one more video, one more temporary escape from yourself. Temporary pleasure, permanent emptiness. And afterward, you sit there wondering why you still feel hollow after getting exactly what you thought you wanted. Because distraction can numb pain temporarily, but it cannot heal it. The ancient Stoics believed a person ruled by impulse could never become truly free. Early monks would sit awake in silence, confronting their thoughts instead of escaping them. Modern people do the opposite. We drown silence instantly. Music, notifications, scrolling, noise, anything to avoid hearing ourselves think. And maybe that is why you feel exhausted lately, not because life is impossible, but because your mind has been fighting itself every night. Then comes the worst part, the shame. Not loud shame, quiet shame. The kind where you sit on the edge of your bed thinking, what is wrong with me? You cleaned your screen faster than you cleaned your mind, and deep down you are terrified this cycle is becoming who you are. But listen carefully. Failing is dangerous. Believing you are permanently broken is even more dangerous, because shame survives by convincing people there is no point trying again. That is how people surrender, not in one massive moment, but through repeated disappointment in themselves. The battle nobody sees often decides the future everybody sees. So tonight matters, not because you failed, but because of what you do after failing. Most people relapse, then completely collapse emotionally afterward. They binge harder, hide deeper, hate themselves more. But rebuilding starts differently. It starts with honesty, not fake motivation, not pretending you suddenly changed overnight. Honesty. What were you really feeling before the relapse happened? Lonely, anxious, rejected, emotionally drained? Because the deeper issue is usually not lust, it's escape. And the moment you stop blindly feeding the urge and start understanding the pain underneath it, you finally begin changing for real. So breathe for a second. Seriously. You are not beyond rebuilding. Your mind is not ruined forever. Your discipline is not dead. Your future is not destroyed because of one bad night. But you do need to stop feeding the version of yourself that keeps destroying your peace. Put the phone down tonight. Sit in silence for a few minutes. Pray honestly if you still know how. Write down what you actually feel instead of escaping it immediately. Because recovery is not only resisting temptation, it is rebuilding self-respect. One honest decision at a time. And maybe real strength is not never falling again. Maybe real strength is refusing to stay on the ground after you do.